Hello, children. Hope you're doing well and welcome you to the online Lyceum School. The topic we are going to discuss today is switches. It comes under the Unit 5, Electricity and Magnetism. You use the switch to control the light in your bedroom. But do you really understand how does it work? Okay, let's learn about switches. What is a switch? Switch is an electrical component which turns the electrical current on and off. You have already learned about the electrical components that can be used in a simple circuit. Switch is also another type of electrical component that is used to control the flow of electricity. So I would like to say that switch is a convenient way to close or open the circuit. This is exactly what happens when you switch on and off the light switch. When you have a look at the first image, you can see when you flip the switch button to the off position, the current doesn't flow. So the bulb doesn't light up. But when you move to the second diagram, when you flip the switch button to the on position, you can clearly see that current flows through it and the bulb illuminates. From the arrows I have drawn, you can see the way the current flows. When the current flows through the bulb shines. Now this is the simple circuit you made without a switch in the previous lesson. They used some components like bulb, bulb holder, wire and the cell. But you have no switch in this circuit. Now if you happen to turn off the light, what you have to do is you will have to break the circuit by taking the tape wire off from one of the terminals of the cell. So, but this is not going to be easy to connect and disconnect the wires of the circuit. That is why we have to make the switch. So it's time for us to make the switch. So these are the things that you should keep ready to make the switch. A block of wood, wires, a sharp knife, 2 metal drawing pins, a safety pin, or a metal clip. So before you make the switch, I would like to remind you that you have to follow the safety rules. If you follow the safety rules before using anything related to electricity, you won't get hurt. So always get the help of your parents before you touch any electrical equipments. Okay, before we make the switch, we should strip the wires. We should have a bare end at each and every wire. So you can either use a stripper or you can use a sharp knife. If you use a stripper, it is very easy. You just have to squeeze from the place that you have to strip and strip it away from you. If you use a knife, you have to be careful. You have to hold the wire firmly against a table and use the other hand to hold the knife, and always remember to strip it away from you. So now the things are ready. So let's make the switch. First of all, what you have to do, children, you mark the length of the safety pin on the block of the wood or the metal clip. Then it's easy for us to fix the drawing pin at the correct distance. Then you have to wind the bare end of one wire around the drawing pin as shown in the second image. And then after you wind it, you can fix it to the wooden block. It is shown in the third image. Then you take the other drawing pin and do the same for that. You take another piece of wire and wind it round the drawing pin. And before you fix it to the wooden block, this time you have to insert the paper clip or the safety pin. So then after you do that, you can fix it to the wooden block. Now we are done with the switch. So if you don't find these things to make the switch, you can go for these alternatives as well. You can use a metal clip and you can use paper fasteners, or else you can use a cloth peg. If you use a cloth peg, what you have to do is you should wrap the bare end of one piece of wire tightly around one of the legs of the cloth peg and do the same to the other wire on the leg of the cloth peg. So we are done with the switch. We are going to make the circuit with the switch. So the circuit, I've shown the steps to make the circuit. We'll start with the first one. Now you can clearly see my switch I have done on a Regiform board. So then what you have to do is you have to take the one bare end of one wire and connect it to the one terminal of the cell. Then you take another piece of wire where you can see in the second diagram, the white color wire. So you take that wire and you connect the bare end to the other terminal of the cell. Then as shown in the third image, what you have to do is you have to take the bulb. I couldn't find a torch bulb, children. So I used the LED bulb. If you have the torch bulb, you also do the same thing. You have to connect those free ends of two wires to the bulb as shown in the picture. Now, this is what we get finally. So now we have made the circuit with the switch. So the first diagram shows my circuit. In my circuit, I have closed the switch and you can clearly see that the bulb lights up. And the second one, switch is open and there's a gap, so the bulb doesn't light up. So this is what really happens in the circuit. When you close the switch, it completes the circuit so electricity can flow around the circuit. You can clearly see that there are no gaps in the circuit when you close the switch. So when there are no gaps, it makes a continuous path for the electricity to flow. So then the bulb will shine. But when you open the switch, there's a gap in the circuit. So electricity will never jump over the gap. So electricity can't go through a broken path. When the electricity doesn't go through the path, the light doesn't come in the circuit. After you do this circuit with the switch, if your bulb doesn't still work, you have to check for these following reasons. Check all your connections. I have drawn the arrows to show all the connections. So you have to check whether all the connections are firm and secure. And then you have to check whether your cell is a fresh one. If your cell is flat, then electricity will not, you will have no electricity to flow through the circuit. Then finally, you have to take a look at the filament of the bulb. If the filament is broken, once again, it makes an incomplete circuit. So it will not going to work. So these are the switches that you are familiar with, what you see on your walls. So these switches also just do the same thing. They have plastic buttons and levers. So they do the same thing. The plastic button and the lever and the plastic casing protect you from the high voltage. So I have given some pictures of electrical appliances that comes with switches. So all the electrical appliances what you use daily, come with switches. So I would like to summarize my lesson. So this is what we learned throughout. When the switch is open, the circuit is broken. So electricity does not flow through an open circuit. When the switch is closed, that means it makes a complete circuit. So electricity will flow through it and the bulb will glow. So thank you very much for watching.